Well, howdy. My name is Scooter Pickleberry. This is Florida Man Cooking, and today we are going to make a picanha. I'm doing make the whole thing as a roast. If you don't know what picanha is, it's big in Brazil. I've never been to Brazil. I've been all over South America many times, but I haven't been to Brazil, and I haven't had a picanha there. But I got a buddy named Vanji who's from Brazil, and he likes to cook. And when I go to his house, he sits there for hours at the grill making steaks, cutting them up and handing them to me, and they're freaking amazing. So I got into it with that. I'm doing it a little bit differently. We're gonna cook it on we're gonna smoke it and then give it a sear in the oven. And we'll show you how it all works. It's an absolutely delicious cut of meat. It's under $10 a pound. I got 6.8 pounds, I think it was, for about 68 bucks at Costco the other day. And it's just outstanding meat. It's about the beefiest beef you'll ever get. That and beef tenderloin would be my two favorites. It's really good stuff. Welcome aboard. Let's get going. You're gonna enjoy it. Well, there's my boy Vanji who taught me everything I need to know about this stuff. And there's a package that came in, about 68 bucks worth for almost 7 pounds. It's called a top sirloin cap here. It can also be called a coulette. But in Brazil and in most of the U.S. at least, that's not what they call it. They call it picanha. So you'll see it's got a giant thick fat cap on it. And I'm going to cut that down. I still want to keep the fat cap. The fat cap is the flavor. It's absolutely amazing. Don't remove it all. But you want to thin it down a little bit. Get rid of some of that harder stuff on the outside. Make it a little bit thinner. In retrospect, I probably could have done a little bit better job of this. But for the most part, we got most of it off. Some people save that fat cap and make tallow out of it or whatever. I didn't. I just threw it away. I just buy tallow. I like tallow. I just don't like having to cook it. So we just kind of walk around this thing and get all of the big chunks of fat off. And then you can see there's still quite a bit there. So I probably should have taken a little bit more time with it, but it came out pretty good. We got most pieces turned out just delicious. So we're cooking this as a roast. You can do this as a steak. To do that, you just cut that up across it and make a bunch of steaks any thickness you want. I like the roast better because it gives everybody a choice between medium well to rare, depending on what piece they want. And there's only 3 of us. We made 7 pounds of meat, so we had a lot of leftovers, which I ate for breakfast this morning before I edited this, and it was absolutely amazing still, but not quite as good as when you get it fresh off the grill. So we flip it over, start cutting. There's still quite a bit of fat on that backside. We're going to leave some of it for the same reason. And then after we're done removing the biggest chunks of fat and leaving maybe a 1/4 inch or so on there, maybe a little less than that, I'm going to score it. So just kind of like a Easter ham, you walk through there and just give it some cuts, twist it around, cut it the opposite direction. What that does is it opens up that fat cap so I can get some salt in it. Typically in Brazil, apparently, the only thing they use to season this stuff is salt, not pepper, nothing else, just salt. And it worked out really good. I used a coarse kosher salt. And when you kind of score the fat like that, it makes grooves that the salt can get into and get to the meat. Now, my buddy Vanji, he has some kind of secret marinade he won't give me the recipe for. It's outstanding. I have some idea of what's in there, but I don't think I'm going to get it just right. But he makes it, and it's absolutely outstanding. And I think he marinades it in or brushes it on or something. I don't know. But turned out this was so good, I don't think I really needed that. Although if he would be kind enough to give me that, that'd be great because I'd love to try that recipe sometime too. So we do the same thing on both of them. We just score them up. And then once they're all scored and pretty, we just dump a good amount of salt on it. But you got to realize this is a giant chunk of meat. I don't think it would necessarily be a bad idea to do this the night before and let that salt kind of soak in. But I thought the salt that I ended up with was just right. My wife, who's kind of salt sensitive, thought that maybe I could go a little bit thinner on it, but I think I'd probably do it the same way. So once again, the boring part here is watch me make the scores. Almost done with that. We'll salt it up, and we're going to throw it on a Weber Kettle Grill offset, so the heat will be on one side, the stuff will sit on the other side. That allows it to smoke pretty good. Kept the grill temp somewhere around 250 degrees, maybe as high as 300 at points. So we pick it up, and if you flex it like that, that kind of opens up those gaps. You just kind of hold it on one side, let it flop over. That opens up the gaps. Then we just dump a copious amount of large, coarse, kosher salt. It's looking pretty good. And we do the same thing to the other one. Get it on both sides. I can't tell you how much I like this. It's beef tenderloins has always been my favorite, and I cook it very similarly. I do tend to put an herb glaze on that, but on this, that was it. We go to the coals, got a full chimney full of Kingsford. And if you're doing this, you might want to wear shoes, because I tend to get my feet burned doing that. That's just stupid, but I'm just redneck enough that I don't like wearing shoes, and I forget that I'm not wearing them when I'm doing dumb stuff like that. So unfortunately, my feet are pretty tough now, so they tend to just stomp the coals out. Throw a couple pieces of hickory in there just for some added smoke. You could use any kind of wood you wanted, but I just had hickory laying around, so that's what's in there. And I just pile those coals all up on one side of the grill, and that makes sure that I'm not getting any direct heat on the picanhas. Now I'm going to put 2 picanhas on here. One of them has a temperature probe in it that goes to my cell phone. And I decided to take it, since I'm going to broil it later, I decided to take it to 110 degrees inside internally. So when it hit 110, I pull it off. Here they go getting on right now. It's getting dark out, so I got a handheld flashlight for lighting, because I'm pretty high tech like that. And it's sizzling and good stuff right now. So that's the one with the probe in it. You can kind of see that sticking out the back end. Move it around a little bit so the probe's not riding on the side of the grill. Close it up. Took about an hour, hour and 10, something like that, to heat it up to that 110 degrees internal. That's just a quick check. It's turning golden brown, and that's a lot of the smoke adhering to the fat too, which is just a delicious combination. But once again, the only thing on here that we seasoned it with was salt and smoke, and hickory smoke at that, which I typically don't use for beef, but came out pretty good. So that's 110 degrees, comes off, goes right in the broiler pan. And we take it upstairs to the 3rd floor of the house where the kitchen is, because that's really convenient. And that's about that. Doesn't that look beautiful? So the broiler's on high. Got the rack about 6 inches below it. We'll stick that in there. Now, when you do this, stay close. I actually went a little bit farther than I wanted, and I was watching it. That is absolutely beautiful looking. I probably should have pulled it right there. It's just gorgeous. And of course, we're going to let it rest. That internal temp is at 110. Now it's probably 115, 116. And we're going to let it rest till it climbs up to about 130, which is the low end of medium rare, which is just how I like a steak. It's where all the juice is. So it just sits there on the counter for a little bit now. My cameraman, Cooter Jr., who is 13 years old, did an amazing cinematic shot here of the overflight. It's like the drone footage. So I'm going to pull that probe out. Those things are hot. They retain heat for a long time, so don't touch that with your hand. And then we'll set her over here on the counter, on the cutting board. And this is going to have a juice-a-lanch, so you want to make sure that whatever cutting board you're using has a blood groove on it. Otherwise, you're going to end up messing up your whole kitchen. And you want to cut this thin. I think I cut it a little bit thicker than I should have. The thinner you cut it, the more tender it is. And I got a little bit more of a chew than I wanted, but the flavor, oh my. You can see that fat cap is just kind of crispy. Beautiful medium rare.
How's it tasting, Cooter?
Oh my god, no kidding. Wow.
What do you rate it out of 10?
14. 67. Oh my god. That fat cap, cut down, diced like that, thinned out, adds so much flavor. The only thing on this is salt and smoke. It's absolutely delicious. Outstanding. Well, bite?
You can see how juicy that is. It's just it's a juice-a-lanch waiting to happen. Serve this with homemade chimichurri sauce, some black beans and rice, and some air fryer made sweet potato fries, which is always good. Well, that's that. It was pretty good eating. Really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Hope you come back and see us again. If you would consider hitting like and subscribe, sure appreciate that. And if you make this thing, leave a comment. I want to know what you think. I think it's really good. You can make it as a steak. You don't have to make it as a roast. A lot of people do that. The important thing, the main thing about this is the flavor is all coming from that little fat cap. So skin that fat cap down so it's not so thick and tough. But leave it there and then taste it. It's outstanding. Thanks so much. God bless you. Hope we see you again soon. Have a nice day.